So as you're lifting up and getting more extension in your spine, even if you're laying down, and extending and making your spine go along that way, do a little bounce in there, right? Because bouncing and a little bit of, it doesn't have to just bounce, it doesn't have to be rhythm yet, but you're kind of shaking it up. You're kind of doing like this to it a little bit with the bounce, right? Because when it starts to wake up with a little bit of vibration or bounce, then I can take the energy in my low back and bring it into the center of my chest, right? So without that little bit of something, I have a harder time bringing it into, and then I'm going to sit and I'm going to notice my habit of sitting back down and how I'm constantly compressing my spine, right? And covering up that like bounce, which I'm going to have to do most of my day. But right now, I'm going to try to set myself back down, keep my spine long, and try not to compress that space, right? And then I'm going to go to my compression spot, right? Now, check out the difference going back to Amanda's story. So imagine, asana starts with not starts, advanced asana starts to really excel when you figure out how to work really well with near the hub of the wheel in your spine. So when you're in that collapse spot that you have to manage your day from, right? And do right, whatever. So from there, from that collapse spot, now just lift under your collarbones, broaden your collarbones, which is still feels good, right? Doesn't suck. It's better than a sharp stick in the eye, right? Then you go in, but you're doing it from the collapse spot. So one of the real simple ways the flower opens. So now I'm gonna feel that bounce again. I'm gonna get the extension. I'm gonna set myself back down, knowing I'm heading into into the compression zone, but I'm gonna try to resist it a little bit and keep my spine a little bit longer. So I'm keeping my spine with space in it. Then I'm going to broaden across my collarbones and between my shoulder blades. Does anyone receive it differently? When you're not in the compressed part, now go to the compressed part and watch how the sensation in your whole body dulls. It's a freaking miracle. All this because I paid attention to sensations in my spine, right? So now I could go to my compressed spot and take both arms up. And when I do it that way, I have to work the muscles in my shoulders more, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's got a certain feel, right? If I really broaden, if I take my forearm, I'm going to go up one arm at a time to try to have it be more yoga. I'm going to put my arm here. I'm going to get a sense of extension in my spine and then just take one arm wide. And when I do it this way, I don't know about you, but I can reach the bottoms of my feet better. I can actually breathe more dynamically into my body, right? And that doesn't mean that this one is wrong. It means giving my body grounding is going to bring me more yoga. Now, there is nobody's pose that doesn't improve from the sensation of grounding, right? No matter how advanced you are. Right? But when you start to do poses without the sensation of grounding, which allows the sensation of extension and space in your spine, if you do poses from without that extra help, you will wear out your muscles faster. Right? So now I'm going to rock back and forth a little bit because I'm trying to keep, instead of that compressed feeling, I'm trying to keep movement being part of what's going to help me inhale and take my arm up. What's amazing about human consciousness, then I'm going to move around again, is that I don't have to do the asana just in the present moment. I can bring sensations of lightness and movement and bring them into the present moment. Recognize the full cacophony of sensations. No, I'm grounding over here, right? I'm holding my arm up over here. And then when I have that support, I can learn stuff about my shoulder blade and how to make the pose be more, and then come on down. Now I'm going to take both arms wide. I'm going to let my spine be more compressed, but I'm going to try to keep the sequence with me as I take my arms wide. So when I take them both now, I'm not fatiguing as fast on my shoulders as when I first did it, because I've opened up more of the potential of my consciousness. This is why you do a full practice, and your practice should be more than just one pose over and over again, because you're trying to open things from different directions. Now we're just going to add an extra one. So I'm going to go back and touch the sequence and bounce my spine around a little bit, right? So this is actually a variation of what Amanda said. I'm now not just using alignment, but I'm using sensational awareness pulling through time, through the sequence, to help poses become more effortless in the present, in the middle of physical action, right? So now I'm going to like feel that, and I'm going to go back to the first one again. And I don't know about you, but God, it feels like way cooler to go into the whole thing. I'm going to take that down. I'm going to do it again. Now I'm going to change my base. I'm going to take my legs wide. I'm going to do the same pose. I'm going to change my relationship to gravity. I'm going to ask my brain to be able to feel allow to my mind all the same sensations, and now add a little bit more. That's why you do different poses in a practice. So now my legs are wide, and so I'm just gonna first just take my legs wide, right? And then do this, but hopefully I've got that light, like extended spine that's making me feel like having my legs wide feels a little bit more like flying, as opposed to just being my legs wide, because it's coming after the sequence. So that's cool, right? So but now I'm gonna go back and try to do a little bit of bounce. I'm gonna come forward. I'm gonna put my hands on my foot pedals. Somebody you can put on your chair seat. And I'm gonna start that little bounce. Gonna go, right? Have you noticed how the little bounce will improve your inhalation and exhalation? Especially your inhalation. If I can keep that little happiness in there. Okay, so now I'm going to keep that bounce, that lightness, going to start lifting my chest to catch it. So the energy from the bounce, I'm going to catch with my chest. Keep my chest lifted. Come back, right? And take my arms off. And breathe. So we're building standing poses from the spine outward. And then take your arms back down. So now I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to take this bouncy feeling, right? I'm gonna move around in here a little bit, like, wait, there's more freedom in here. If my mind is in the future and I'm already thinking about taking my arms wide, I'm just passing over an opportunity to feel the parts of the pose. So I'm shaking around a little bit, going like, hey, I kind of get this. There's a thing in here. So I'm rocking back and forth, and I'm doing it one way, but now I'm a yoga and I do it the other. I'm gonna lead the other shoulder forward and the other hip back, and then I'm gonna do it this way, and I'm gonna go back and forth and going, holy cow, my mind only wants to do it one way. I'm not gonna do it one way. I'm gonna like lead one way and another way, because I'm trying to open up more of my potential. So now I'm getting that light feeling again, taking my arms wide on an inhale, going like, hey, that's cool. But now I kind of know I'm going to hit down to my sitting bones, down to my knees, now to my feet as my arms are wide. But I'm going to do that by lengthening my spine, not just thinking about pushing physically, right? Through my feet. Good. And then release. Bring your legs back together, right? So we're building standing poses from the midline out. Right? So my legs are back together. I'm only doing this so you don't get, your brain doesn't habituate, your mind doesn't habituate the gain you got when your legs are wide a little bit, or at least in a different relationship to gravity. So that one, we tried to keep the lightness in the pose, but we know that there is a relationship, that light feeling I get from rhythm, I can actually get it from different doorways, right? One of them is from increasing alignment, right? One of them, so I'm going to bring my knees a little closer together and try to connect it up to my chest. One of them is from the sensation of grounding. Sensation of grounding allows more freedom in my spine to extend. If my spine can extend with more lightness, I can actually feel my arms and legs differently. Good, and then release. So I'm going back, so I'm going to take my legs wide again. Right? And I'm going to be starting to be happy about, wait, maybe my femur bone's going out in a different relationship, or even if it's just little and you push on the inside of your thighs, you don't even have to spread your legs. But I want you to feel that opening like you're flying. So I'm going to sit here and go, hey, yeah, my spine, if I fall into my compressed spine, I don't get the benefit of having my knees apart. If I actually uncoil my spine, especially for me, my scoliosis, hit down with my sitting bones, extend up through my spine, the sensation of this being more like flying happens through ease, not through effort, right? So I also know that grounding is going to be a way for me to keep the lightness in my spine. So I'm going to grab on my armrest here, push down on my other femur bone a little bit, and lifting my spine up and lift my chest. And I'm going to know this is a pose right here. As I extend my spine up, hit down with my sitting bones, I'm going to fly through from my hips out through my knees, try to press down through my heels, which I can't physically do, but don't get caught in doing it too physically yet. Good, and then release. Because if I try to do it for me as a paralyzed person, a lot of you can do it physically more easily than I can. If I get too caught on making it happen physically, that's so my mind can get traction. Then I'm being Amanda, thinking that it's just about my shoulder. The first time she did it, that she got her shoulder blades to move. As she's like grown in yoga, she's seeing it as ease now. So now I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to press down on my forearm into my femur bone, get the other one up. I'm going to lift my chest, get the sensation of grounding to support the space in my spine, because I know space in my spine will fill my whole vessel. Good, and then release. And I'm going to try to keep that all with me. And at first, I'm going to take one arm up. And I'm going to try to do it with it's going to throw me off balance a little bit, but I'm going to try to keep all the pieces together. Now I'm going to do it the other way, down, up, over, flying, extending. Right? Now I'm going to get it all, remind it all, get the grounding up, get the space up, be more at attention. And again, you don't have the same abdominal, most of you can have more abdominal strength than I do. And I take both arms up, but I'm going to try to feel the whole sequence. I'm going to breathe into the whole expanded space. I'm going to be grateful for yoga. Good, and then release. Bring your legs back together. Coming back to the midline. Coming back to the Tadasana. Coming back to the core fuel tank of Tadasana, which is this fundamental. When my legs are rolled out, I taught this last couple of weeks, tried to share the last couple of weeks. When I bring my knees straight out, when I use alignment and the ease that comes from alignment, I think I'm getting more moon energy into the base of my spine, because this inner corridor is getting energy from what's not quite as bright, like the sun. And I'm gonna like find how to lift my chest. The lift up here, I'm gonna extend my spine. Lifting my chest is more like the sunshine, but the moon comes in through the core of the pose. And then I bring it skyward, right? I bring it skyward. And then I'm gonna go back to my compressed feeling, the thing that my knees are rolling out, right? And I'm going like, that's okay. I have to live most of my day here. But just for a second, I'm gonna touch other potential. I'm gonna bring my knees together, connect it, bring it up from the moon, lift the chest skyward, start to take my head back and go, and then my gaze up, but I'm lengthening from my sternum up towards my chin. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, we're close to a back bend. This is a back bend, but it's coming out of the earth, coming through the moon, up. And what a surprise. When I broaden across the collarbones like Amanda did in her first class, the pose gets more sunshine, but the sunshine's coming from the earth, from the diaphragm. Now, if I broaden across my sacrum and broaden across my collarbones and lengthen my spine vertically and open my gaze towards the sky, holy cow, it's humming. And then I'm going to release. Now, coming into a back bend with all this extra stuff we did from standing poses, right, it's not the only way to do it, but we're coming now into what's going to be a back bend up over the chair. We've done a lot before, but we're coming at it from a direction that's emphasizing the earth, the extension, trying to get the spine long to keep the space. And then we're really going to turn it up towards the sky, right? Towards the sun. But, right? So let's try it. And already, I can tell you as a practitioner, right now, I'm already thinking about what's happening. So I'm too far in the future. And I'm forgetting that, wait, there's joy and there's like a little bit of bounce in my legs and my spine. So I'm going to just bring my knees together a few times, like a little butterfly, right? And I'm doing this to remind myself, wait, although I just got intense because I know I'm going into a back bend, my mind's in the future. I'm forgetting that like, there's all, and then I'm going to move my spine a little bit. So I'm rocking my legs, I'm bouncing my spine, and I'm about to use my will to turn this into a back bend. So now I'm going to get a pumping action. So now I'm putting my knees together and lifting my spine. I'm pushing on the outside of my femur bones and my knees, and I'm catching it with my spine, right? I'm just doing this action going like, hey, I get to be in a moving body, a dynamic body. Okay, and then I'm going to sit here. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to find Tadasana. I'm going to go from the earth energy up. I'm going to go up and over. And as I open, I'm about to lose my glasses. As I open, I want this to feed the whole pose. Good. And then release. Come on back. Now, if we hadn't gone through this whole sequence, and this would be a totally fine way, if we had done the back bend just quicker, right? And early in the class just gone like this, which we could have done, that would have been cool too. Would have been a fine way to do it. But again, now I'm going to get the slow movements again, bring my knees and get all of it going. Get up, go over, open the hood of the chest, drop the shoulder blades, uncoil, take my legs wide, Now, I don't recommend big back bends with your legs wide because your base is so different. But I'm gonna have my legs wide. I'm gonna grab the seat of my chair. I'm gonna actually grab my foot pedals, the pedal of the leg rest a little bit. And I'm gonna ground the outside, the back of my arms into my femur bones. I'm gonna go down through my sitting bones. And I'm gonna just, without going so far back, I'm gonna back bend. And this time the lift in my chest is feeding a flying feeling out this way, right? Good. Now, in my body, remember, I don't have the abdominal strength to keep this extended. That pose, I'm gonna take my arms out to my side, right? And I'm not, because I don't have the same abdominal control that at least some of you have. I'm gonna try to back bend, this for one is already a back bend, right? So before I start to come back, I'm gonna try to roll my inner upper arm forward, turn my thumb up behind me, try to open the shoulder stand space, right? And then take my head back. But I'm jammed up. This is hard for me because I can't maintain the the extension in my spine. Good, and then release. A lot of you, that is going to feel cooler on you for you than it is for me. For me, I'm going to get more traction and lengthen my spine if I use grounding of my back and my forearms on my legs, grabbing my seat, broadening across my collarbones, having to forego this part of the expression, but getting a more dynamic energy coming up through the spine, right? Broadening across the collarbones, taking the head back. Now, if you can do it, which I can't very well without sacrificing the pose, at the very end, add your arms. Once I do that, I collapse my spine and it's counterproductive. So I'm going to not do that. But I'm going to feel like I've got my arms out, right? I'm not just going to imagine it. I'm going to let my spine express itself up and down my side body as I take my head back. Good, and then release. I'm going to come forward now. I'm going to come forward, and this would be like, if you knew I don't even know what it's called in non-Sanskrit, but we're suddenly going to come into Prasarita Padachitasa. I'm going to come forward, I'm going to lift on the collarbones, and I'm going to extend my spine, hit down through my sitting bones, extend out to the top of my head, broaden between my shoulder blades, broaden across my collarbones. And as I do that, I'm going to go down through my legs harder, and I go back and forth, and I'm going to make this a really strong pose. And I'm going to breathe. Prasarita Padachitasa. Good, and then release. Hey, Bethany, are you on the call? Put up a picture of Prasarita Padachitasa. What's the non-Sanskrit name of that?
Wide-legged standing forward fold.
Oh, that's the dumbest name, right? That's like the inelegance of our language there, right? So she's gonna pull up a picture of it quick here. This is it's kind of a back bending intense.
Do you want it from like the side or to the?
Uh, I don't know. Pick one that's better. I don't care.
Okay. Mm,
Oh, for God's sakes,
I know.
the one on the left.
It's coming. It's coming. Oh, geez, it's not. I'm sorry. Give me just a sec. Here we go.
Hello?
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Hello? So look at the one where his
Okay.
head is down to the ground. It's horizontal. Get one from the side now. Right? But the idea is that there's a real strong extension from the top there, but then when you start to look up, the pose transforms. Okay. It's a very dynamic, very contained pose, right? You almost got that there, Butch.
Here.
Enough dynamite. You know, anyone hear that allusion to Butch Cassidy and Sundance Ken? Think you used enough dynamite there, Butch?
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, and then she needs to extend her spine. Do you not have her and a picture of them extended?
Yeah, from this, I can find one. I just need just a sec. I know
All right.
exactly what
So
you're.
just know we're going there. We're going to come back to that, right? So now I want you to lean forward, press your forearm, press down on your thigh, get that extension in your spine. We do this a lot. I usually teach it more as a revolved standing pose. But I want this one to be more forward, like you're forward bending and turning up, not nearly as much. Turning the chest up to actually, this little turn should feed energy to your legs. Then you broaden between the shoulder blades and the collarbone and add more energy. So the turn is not to take the arm up and to reach up like a revolved standing pose. It's to go, I'm just gonna feed my legs with a twist. And then come on back. Sorry I didn't give you much time to prepare, Butch.
I got BKS doing it. You want to see that?
Okay, here's the dude, by the way.
Oops, sorry, wrong. Give me just a
That's
second.
pretty good. That's pretty good. The one
Oh,
on the,
okay, I'll reshare it. Sorry about that.
yeah,
Here
the
we
one in the upper left is what I wanted you to feel for a second. Wait,
This one?
no, the BKS one.
Oh. Sorry, my
Okay.
share is being, I'm so sorry. Here we come
All
again.
right. You don't have to be sorry. I'm not giving you clear instructions. The one in the upper left. Point to the one in the upper left.
I can't see it for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. So the one in the upper left is what I was trying to get you to get when you're forward, right? So now, so that's, and it's a very strong pose, right? And you don't have to look up either. So you can get rid of that now. So now we got to go the other way, right? So we're hitting down, rising up. And so before I've taught this like this, we're not doing that. We're coming a little bit farther forward and we're adding the twist to invigorate the leg. So if I get too caught up in being, my mind starts to win the pose, I'm stealing from my legs. You're using the change of gravity, the extension of the spine. As you turn the upper thoracic up, you're trying to feed your legs with the intensity. You don't take a deep breath here because it's dynamic. And then you come on back. Then we're going to go the other way. Oh my God, it's after 11. I'm a bad teacher. Forward, turn, up, feeding the legs, back, forward, turn, feed the legs energy. Good. And then come back to center. Grabbing my footrests. Now I'm going to bring my legs back and include my legs. Touching my legs into Tadasana. Breathing, release. Gonna start going back and forth a little bit. Back and then find that little bounce, right? Because we're exiting the room like it's a camera just going backwards now. Film going backwards. And we're gonna take that, lift up a little bit, bounce a little bit again, right? Right? Because I want the whole class to come with me, the whole sequence into Shavasana. Whew. We just did a whole bunch there at the end. So we gotta like really try to like settle the abdomen down. Right. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna like, oof. At least I have to settle my abdomen down. Find my sitting bones. As I let the natural gravity back into my spine, I'm gonna soften my jaw. And I'm gonna try to keep my spine slightly extended on a certain level as I let gravity compress my spine. Compression is often necessary for balance, but you can learn to compress while keeping the lightness at the core, even while compressing. To do that, you have to start softening your eyes inside of your mouth. Part of what, ironically and paradoxically, one of the energies that keeps the lightness even while the compression's occurring is shavasana. Shavasana, although you do it with your eyes closed and it seems like sleep, is also practicing the lighter energy as the doorway into nourishing the nervous system. Really try to let the chair hold me up. I'm going to try to stay without effort into an imprint of alignment. So there's a hum in your ankles and your knees and your hips, and your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrists, even as the compression is happening. Tongue in the lower palate, lips together, teeth slightly apart. Feel your breath. Don't change it. Thank your body. Thank it again. When you're ready, open your eyes. We went through a lot of stuff today, right? Trying to recognize what progress is in your practice. All the levels that are happening, all the ways you know how to move better because you've been practicing with the group and getting the parts of you supported, right? By each other, by being non-exceptional, right? All right, everybody. I'll stay on for a while if you're interested. Thanks for staying with me late. Right? Hands together. Namaste. Spirit in me bows the spirit in you.